All right, what's going on, guys? Today we're gonna be doing the group anagrams question. So yeah, basically how it works is given an array of strings, group the anagrams together, and then return them in any order. And so basically an anagram is just a word or phrase formed by rearranging the letters of a different word or phrase. So like for example, eat and tea are anagrams because you can make tea with this word, or you can make eat with this word. Like if you rearrange them, they you can make the same words. Yeah, and so basically I'm gonna be showing and going over Leetcode's solution, but I'm just gonna be explaining a little bit more because I felt like maybe he could have explained the code a little bit more. But yeah, so the first thing is you create this default dictionary. And basically what the default dictionary does is it just makes it so like if you try and like access a key or at a certain within the dictionary and it's not there, then it will basically just like automatically add that key for you. So basically means like when you're accessing a key that hasn't been set in the dictionary, it will automatically create an empty list as the default value for that key. So that's kind of how it does it. And so the reason you want to do this is so that then you have an empty list at that key, so that then you can append like the different items to it, right? So you start off, you have this like empty list, and then we want to then be able to append like all the different like items to that, right? And so basically then what we'll do next is we can just loop through the array. Okay, and so you can do that. You can just say for s in strings. So that will loop through like each of these. You can just ignore this for now, but yeah, so you just want to loop through. So this will start at eat and then t. Okay, and then what we want to do next is say count equals 0 times 26. Okay, and basically what this just does is it just creates like this empty array called count, and it's just going to be like this, like 26 times. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So just think of that. Okay, now what we're going to want to do next is then say for c in s and then we will then say count at order c plus equals 1. Okay, and so basically what this is going to do is it's going to loop through s, which, so let's take our example here. So we have this right here. So let's think about this. So we have this, move count down to there, and we'll start with eat. So eat, so we're then going to loop through each character in eat. So we'll loop through E, and then we'll loop through A, and we'll loop through T. And what this does is this basically just gets kind of like the index of like where it would be in the array. So if each of these represents like, this would be like A, and this would be like B, and this would be like C, D, all the way through. This just helps you get that. And you do that by taking C minus like the ASCII value of A. So if C was A, then you would get this one. You'd get 0. And if it was B, if this was B, you would get 1. And so you would then go to index, so the index, and you increase it by 1. So in this case, we have eat. Okay. So think about this, we have eat. Okay. And so when we do this minus this. So if it was A, we would get 0, but it's E. So A, B, C, D, E. So it's going to change this to 1. Okay, and then it's going to take the A and it's going to change that to 1 as well. And then imagine this was like the T down here. It would change that to 1. Okay, and so now this would then give it like a pretty unique array. And even if this was like the other way, like say this was T, for example, you would then on the next loop, like once we get to T, we would still get the same count, because you would find T and you would increase the 1 there, you'd find E, you'd increase it there, and you'd find A, and you'd increase it there. And so the reason we do that is because then the next step is to then go res at, so I'll explain this tuple here in a second, but basically dot append s. Okay, so then basically what this does then is we then take our dictionary and we say, okay, go to the key that is represented by this. So this is going to make us a key, and then we are going to append that to, we're going to append eat to it. So like for example, so this would be a key. So this count would be a key right here, and we would append eat to that. Okay, and then we'd go through and we'd find T, and we would see that, okay, that key already exists, so then we append T to it. And yes, and so that's basically it. And then last thing you want to do is then just return res dot values. Go ahead and run that. Cool. Oh yeah, and so basically, so the reason why you have to make it a tuple is because like you can't have keys that are like mutable, like can change. And so before we had count, which count is a list, right? It's a list right here, and so that means it's mutable. So we can't have that as a key, but if we convert it to a tuple, then we can. So then we say, okay, go to that key and then append s to it, and s was going to be the next one. And so yeah, I'll just show this real quick. Oops. So for example, we went here and we printed count. We run it. Yeah, so you can see, so in the first instance, we have eat and we have T. So notice how they both have the exact same count. So they each have 1 A. So increases A, each have 1 E, increases E, and then T is down there. So it adds those together, okay? Now this one has the same count as, looks like this one. And so that's the third one, tan, and the second last one, which is that one. And so those both ended up getting grouped together. And so that's why. But yeah, so anyway, so go ahead and submit. Yeah, so, oh yeah, so it says beats that, so I'll just show you. It's actually much faster than that, and I just need to, it's because when you print to the screen, it slows it down a lot. So yeah, so as you can see, it's pretty much the optimal solution. But yeah, if you guys had any questions, just leave them in the comments. If not, have a good rest of your day.